Hi everyone. So we're going to talk about unit vectors for a second, and this is actually going to be a really short and sweet video labeled unit vectors. But a unit vector is the vector itself divided by the magnitude of the vector. So what you're technically doing is you're taking your vector and you're dividing out its length, creating a new length of 1 unit. So any magnitude of a unit vector is always equal to 1. And if you did something wrong, and you will not have what's considered a unit vector. So the reason it's considered a unit vector is because we take the vector itself, we divide out its length, creating it a length. If you take the vector, divide its length, it already has length, you divide length out, that length becomes 1 now. So it just shortens the vector, and it makes it a little bit more manageable to work with in certain circumstances. So we always take the vector and we divide out its magnitude. So for example, we're going to start with vector v, which is -2, 5. I'm going to show you both how this works and how the magnitude equals 1. And we're just going to do one example for this, so this should be really short. But -2, 5 is my vector. The first thing I need in order to find a unit vector is I need its magnitude. So the magnitude of v is found by taking the square root of v1 squared plus v2 squared. And remember, v1 is -2 and v2 is 5. So we plug those in. That's -2 squared plus 5 squared. -2 is 4 squared, that's 4. This is 25, so I have the square root of 29. And that's done. We're not going to do anything more than that because square root of 29 is a prime number, so there's nothing I can do here. There's no multiples that multiply to it. I can't simplify the radical. Now, how does this unit vector work? So the unit vector's terminology, if they were to ask you to find a unit vector, they may just tell you this, okay? But the unit vector's terminology would be to take the vector, divide it by its magnitude. So my vector is -2, 5. My magnitude is the square root of 29. Now, just like I would with multiplication, if I'm multiplying something in, I multiply it to both. If I'm dividing something, I'm going to divide both. So it's very similar to your multiplication process. So this is going to be -2 over the square root of 29, 5 over the square root of 29. Now, the only other thing that I would kind of suggest here is final answer-wise. We usually rationalize because we have square roots in the denominator and we don't really want that. So your final answer could be this, or in my math lab it really could be a rationalized function. So that's 2 square root of 29 over 29, 5 square root of 29 over 29. And remember how we rationalize is we multiply top and bottom by the square root, making the square root move to the numerator and taking away the square root from the denominator, but leaving that value. Okay, so we have successfully found the unit vector. So this is considered the unit vector. I want to show you how the magnitude of this vector equals 1. And I'm going to do that by using this one here, okay, the first one. So it's a little simpler to plug in. So we're going to do that. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to show you that this is my answer for my unit vector, but remember, magnitude of a unit vector, because you're dividing out the length of your original vector, your magnitude now should equal 1, so your new length should be 1. So it's a good way to kind of check your work if you want to, and that is taking the magnitude of the unit vector. And this is notation, okay? So we have the unit vector, that's this, okay? That's up here. And then we're going to take the magnitude of that. So that's going to equal, and I'm going to use the one that's not rationalized because it's a little bit more simple to work with. -2 over the square root of 29 squared plus 5 over the square root of 29 squared. So that is going to give me -2 squared, which is 4, And square root of 29 squared is 29. And then plus 5 squared is 25 over 29. Now, I have common denominators of 29, so I can add these together, giving me 4 plus 25, which is 29, over 29, and 29 over 29 is 1. Square root of 1 is 1, so this worked out. That's just a way to check your vector, making sure it works, but if you're ever asked for a unit vector, this is all you are going to do. You are going to take your vector, find its magnitude, divide your vector by the magnitude. Super simple, super easy.